How to Train Your Dragon uses music from the original in the wrong place, almost forgets a theme, and features music from other movies. Maybe you didn't notice or care, but you would if the rest of the audio were 5 seconds off. Stop! Because what you're seeing and hearing are detached from each other. How would I know? I've been breaking down these scores for a few years. I've explained every theme in the trilogy in video, and many of them in print. There are several uses of old music in the wrong place, which could be because Powell himself was moved to another place.
My studio's in the Palisades, then basically everyone was shouting at me to get out of the studio and I had to leave.
But the truth is, he says he did it on purpose.
And then there are things where I shifted music and moved it in different places, and it kind of ends up meaning something different and works in a better way for live action.
I sympathize with him because this was a really tough movie to do, but this tells the viewer the wrong thing emotionally and messes with the pacing. Here it is in context. Test driving Toothless messes up everyone's favorite part of Test Drive, because the music is mistimed with the action, which defeats the point of the moment where the two and the music are in perfect unison. Here's why the original works. It's chaos while they're falling, then the music builds to a point right when they hit the brakes with the flying ostinato, which tells you they're regaining control and preps you for the flying theme, because an ostinato is just a melody that repeats, which it does here before going into the flying theme. In the remake it plays once, so it doesn't get the chance to be an ostinato before Flying B. And both show up in the wrong place. So Flying B should signal the moment they unite, but in the remake there's no change in between the ostinato and Flying B. They're already halfway through their combined flight, so when Flying B hits, it tells you nothing. John Powell also confirmed what I called the news section of Test Driving Toothless is just the lament from Hiccup's death.
Would it be too much to try lamenting the death of our character in Reel 3?
And at least he tried something, but it saps out all the tension, which it has to do all over again. This isn't the only cue with out-of-place music. In the montage, the flying theme is early instead of late, which moves the rest of the music early, which again tells you the wrong thing. And again, I sympathize with him.
My brain, it exploded trying to sort of piece it back together again and hit everything in the right way.
But here's the fun thing about this one. Once again, this is led into by a string ostinato, so just extend the ostinato or add another half of it and it would work. One more example of music in the wrong place. This cue from the original uses the Warring Vikings theme to tell you the Vikings are planning a strike against the dragons. The remake reorchestrates that cue and uses it for when Hiccup is searching for Toothless. While the original introduces the Fate theme and light orchestration, because this is the start of Hiccup's journey as a dragon trainer. Music is also missing in this version, and this entire scene is cut. But as one of my viewers pointed out, you need it.
Not so fireproof on the inside, are you?
In the remake, Hiccup knows this, but he never learns it. This scene proves Toothless isn't the only one.
Everything we know about you guys is wrong.
Which it does musically as well. The flying theme represents their bond and acceptance. This is the first moment it bridges from just Hiccup and Toothless to other dragons. The opening sequence is often praised for introducing almost every theme, but this remake misses one. This is the Viking theme A, representing life as a Viking and a hope for the future, and in this moment sets up Hiccup's desire to be a Viking. While the B part is still in the opening, the A part has been cut, replaced with something far more bumbling. Why does this matter? Powell's explained he writes themes for character arcs. This arc is still in the movie, so he needs to set it up, and he didn't. It technically plays in one scene during the first half of the movie, like in the original, but it's so well hidden in both that you'd never notice, and that's just something to get into in another video. Ignoring that, when does this light, optimistic theme first play? Musically, that's like if they cut a character from the opening and expected you to know him here.
It's time, Hiccup. Knock him dead.
Can I know you?
Andrew Meredith thinks it's these 3 notes in the opening, but as he says, you have to be looking for it, and it's when Hiccup is running away. It re-enters in the climax, but it's lost that context and build-up. This is the payoff for the setup, and it's the last time it plays, because they cut its moment of triumph. It's not an arc anymore, it's a moment. This movie also uses music from outside the original. The only time bagpipes get to shine in this one is cut straight from the second movie. Longtime viewers will know this is because they're war pipes.
They are, an instrument of war to create fear in the enemy at a distance. So that's why they're incredibly loud.
But since this is the only time you really hear them, you're missing the other reason they're in the first movie.
Fun thing on the first movie was that I was using pipes in a very celebratory way.
Also, shout out to Lauren McDougall for her contribution of the pipes in this series, and enjoying my videos despite my dislike of the movie. He does good work, none of this is on the musicians. The bagpipes work for the moment, but I can't help but wonder what Powell will do for the sequel they announced in April, when this is supposed to be so shocking and unnerving. Speaking of the sequel, a theme from the second movie appears, Map the World, and I'm not so sure this one works, so I want some feedback on it. This is Hiccup's death, so it's probably here to foreshadow Stoic's death in the second movie. And while it's used there, this is a theme for Hiccup's desire to map the world, his freedom, his identity, and it's very closely tied to the idea of him being a little older, being a 20-year-old trying to map his own world. This is a weird time and a weird way to foreshadow Stoic's death. Finally, this score introduces a new father-son theme called He's Not That Boy.
He's not that boy.
But it's not as new as you'd think. In the credits, I thought it was just the flying theme, but a lot of people have pointed out it sounds a lot like Mars Needs Moms. How do so many of you know the score for Mars Needs Moms? I also question the need for a father-son theme, because even though that's central to the story, the flying theme is used for the same thing in the original.
I'm sorry. For everything.
Yeah, me too.
And so is Viking A, which has been cut in half, basically. I know this has been a lot, and it's not even everything, but making this video has been a bit of a mess, so I may have to come back for this. In the meantime, this Jaws video explains how film music controls your emotions, perception of time, and tells you there's danger you can't see. Thanks for watching.